is Jesus of Nazareth a historically verifiable figure? The historicity of Jesus of Nazareth presents one of the most intriguing epistemological topics in contemporary historiography. One topic which my team and I have decided to address again on this channel, this time examining the sources extensively in the original languages. While his theological significance permeates global religious discourse, our present video will focus on the corpus examining a more secular, historical proposition. What empirical evidence substantiates the existence of a 1st century Jesus, or Yehoshua, specifically in the precise historical context of Roman-occupied Judea? Before we dive deeply into the extant evidence, I would like to spend a couple of words very briefly for maximum transparency and mutual understanding. If you wish to skip these, chapters are available down below. Everyone is welcome in the comments. Christians, atheists, agnostics, or people from other religions, I respect your freedom and thank you for being here. Feel free to share your thoughts down below. No comments will be removed. As a Christian myself, I do have a bias, and I recognize that. But that only affects my desire, not my data analysis. Throughout the research for this video, whether a piece of evidence was valid or not was solely determined by the contextual documented facts available to confirm it. Whether I like it or not is not a factor. Moreover, you can rest assured that this video essay is the effort of a full team, not just my work. And just to mention one, my lead research, for instance, who put a lot of hours into this, is not religious at all. We, as a team, have maintained a common goal to apply guards against selective bias in as much as it is humanly possible, and kept each other in check. We will now reveal all of the historically ascertainable evidence that mentioned. We'll address the concept of contemporary mentions and the idea of independent sources. We will also debunk all those positions pertaining to the Christ myth theory that are not congruent with a correct and professional interpretation of the historical evidence. Likewise, we will call out those positions maintained by apologists that don't fit our chosen methodological framework. We'll dignify any statement made empirically so that hopefully this video will act as a conduit to a more clear, unbiased, and coherent presentation. Feel free to pause the video in the next screen to examine the table of contents. Our methodological framework today will be organized the following way. First, we'll have a comprehensive analysis of the sources from both Roman and Jewish historians, writers who had no stake in promoting Christianity and often viewed it with hostility. Second, we'll analyze the contested issue of dating these sources and their independence from Christian influence. Subsequently, we'll undertake a meticulous analysis and critical historiographical consideration to establish the veracity and provenance of ancient testimonials within the ancient Roman imperial apparatus. Finally, we'll evaluate the convergence of the current scholarly consensus, incorporating perspectives from supporters, skeptics, apologists, and mythicists regarding the cumulative weight of the available historical evidence. Convergence in textual analysis and historical reliability presents us with both Christian and non-Christian evidence supporting the existence of Jesus. For the purposes of this video, we will focus on the non-Christian sources, as sources such as the Apostle Paul, the Gospels proper, or any statement made by people who already believe by faith that Jesus is God could be accused of being partial and biased. We do this to establish a basis of intellectual honesty in our research, but regardless of this parameter, we are still left with a plethora of material to work with. I'll substantiate this statement with more details on section 12. Let's now define and delineate what sources we have. The non-Christian sources we have as evidence of Jesus' historicity are twofold. They come from Roman and Jewish authors. A dialectical analysis shows that these sources frequently manifest explicit antipathy towards Christianity. If they had a reason to question or doubt the existence of Jesus, the founder of Christianity, it would have benefited them to state it and use it. Yet, no one does. This is a very important contextual clue. Historically, Christianity shook the foundations of Roman theology and pagan worship within the empire, thus alerting the authorities, causing a harsh imperial response towards the new rising religion. That is why this is a fundamental socio-political factor to consider, so keep it in mind as we carefully review the words of the ancients. There are usually two main counter-arguments used to discredit the sources we're about to examine, with the aim of either rejecting them a priori or to at least significantly diminish their historical validity and relevance. One, the question of whether these authors wrote independently of Christian thought or influence, and two, the question of whether or not these sources are contemporary to Jesus' life. So, are these independent sources and are these contemporary sources to Jesus' life? These logical structures are monumental red flags. They are logical fallacies that should not be taken seriously by any historian, scholar or amateur, Christian apologetic or atheist alike, as they operate under a false correlation paradigm. We will address both arguments, counterattack and dismantle them to their very core on sections 10 and 11 respectively. Furthermore, in section 11, I will demonstrate why the evidence we do have for Jesus is in fact exceptional. There are multiple ancient sources that mention Jesus in a variety of ways, degrees of precision and contextual relevance. For this systematic analysis, we will divide these into two categories: dubious sources and certain sources. The first category includes those sources that mention someone that we think could be him, but we are not sure. They could be valid, but they have a lower reliability coefficient. The certain sources are instead those that without question mention him and have a higher degree of verifiability.